Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video, and today we're going to have a look at, and a bit of a breakdown of the first episode of the new TV show Halo. I've already watched it. My overall impressions straight out the gate is it's rather boring. It doesn't feel like the game to me, which I'd like it to, since it is based off that. So we're going to go through the episode and sort of talk about the scenes, the characters, and just overall what it's like. It's taken a long time to get here. It's taken like over 10 years in production, back and forth between a TV show and a film, and who's making it, who's directing it. We're finally here, and let's just look at what we ended up getting. So the show starts off with us on this planet, this desert planet, mining planet, with this little mining area here, this population that all go out and mine things, whether it's oil or whatever it is. Who knows? So we get to see that it's a very small encampment of people. And most of the locals are basically just talking. Well, they're playing like a betting game, some future card game or something, while talking about some of the UNSC propaganda that's on the TV, and talking about the Spartans. This old guy tells the tales of the Spartans and things he's heard. They're just gambling away. Get some propaganda in the TV in the background. Everyone's always looking a bit grubby, dishevelled. No one seems to trust the governments. So it's standard fare, telling the story, and then, come on, load with me, come on. I thought this kid might play a large role in this episode, because the first part of it is literally all focused on him, but no. Then we've got the mayor of the town, or the leader of the town, comes in. Get back to work, everyone. And then cut to the saviour of the show. We will see this girl here, who's the captain's daughter, and her group of vegan friends. They're just, if you see anyone dressed like this, with haircuts like this, avoid them at all costs. So her and her friends go out looking around, and then they find this plant here, which has some hallucinogenic things, because look at them. Of course they're into drugs. Look at them. So they're all in the woods, decide to take this berry and go on a nice merry trip, because they're all degenerates. By which time, Vegan Princess hears something. Oh, well, she sees something in the woods, a little glint of something. Hard to make out at first. So while all her friends are tripping balls, she goes off, and she finds, well, we hear this breaking from in here and some grumblings, and then above the top we find a Covenant ship. She then runs back to her friends, who are by now absolutely tripping. She's like, we need to warn them, we need to go back to town, we need to get out of here. Instantly, her friends start getting blown up, which I was not. Who cares? They're just a bunch of hippie kids doing drugs in the forest. They are a lost cause, and probably not going to be, no one's really going to miss them in society, because they weren't going to do anything anyway. So all her friends get blown up. She manages to set a flare off to warn the town that something is there. They all start to arm up, get together, put the warnings out there. They all get their very earthbound guns out. These are all literally just like rifles, like earth rifles. There's nothing futuristic about any of this so far. Like, look, it's just a straight earth rifle. AKs and all that stuff. She's running back to town while they're all scrambling and preparing. Then, right, hurry. She gets there. Right, UNSC, Dad, it's not them, because they've been hearing the propaganda about everything. Right, everyone has to run inside, protect themselves. While they do that, come on. It's now playing the waiting game. And here they are. They come in, instantly start shooting at them, which these bullets have no effect. No effect at all. They should have realised this sooner and gone for heavier guns, grenades, rocket launchers. Instead, they're literally just blasting at them. Not working at all. As you can see, the shields reflecting quite well. Straight up Earth car. Not even trying to disguise it. That's just like an old Chrysler or something Jeep utility vehicle. And then literally just get mowed down. All of them get mowed down. Get driven into, knocked over, they get straight back up. These Earth rifles, not doing anything whatsoever. She decides, right, gotta get out of here, gotta go do something, because staying still and trying to help people isn't her cause. Her cause is, I will do whatever I want. Just as we saw right at the beginning, leaving the safe encampment, she was told by her friends, should we be doing this? Oh yeah, it's fine. She knows better. She knows best. So she tries to escape. Look at that. That's just a straight Earth car. Cheap explosions. Everyone's dying. And then one of these guys tries to run in to the safety where all the women and children are. It's not good because he's literally just alerted this big dude here where they are. You know what happens next? Yep. Dead. All of them are dead. Everyone's dying. Just getting shot up. And then Chiefy boy's here. They start saying the Spartans are here. And they think that the Spartans are the bad guys because UNSC. They don't believe them, they don't trust them, they think it's all propaganda. Heard all these stories and tales about the Spartans literally just going around killing everyone, doing whatever they like. So Chief arrives and starts blasting the Covenant up. To which this guy's like, oh, you're one of us. Like, he wants to shoot him straight away. Chief comes in, jumps over him, kills a few, and then he's suddenly like, oh, no, you're here to help after all. You are here. You are good. So, the Spartans, Silver Team, there's 4 of them. So there's these 2 guys, one on the top running, and Chief. And if we remember from the original trailer, we get Chief, we get the big bulky black dude, we have, I think there's an Asian one, and there's the pink-haired blonde woman, because, obviously, these guys, they look fine. I think the suits look great. The faces, I don't know what it is with the CGI, but like the suits and materials all look great, but when it gets to the textures on the face, it doesn't look quite good. They just seem, I don't know if it needed like a couple more months or something just baking in the oven, but just didn't look quite as good as it could have been for the budget. So anyway, Spartans take everyone down. The remaining humans within the area still trying to fight along. She's just running around. Literally running around and hiding in different places constantly. Getting people killed. So we get some nice little fighting here between the Spartans and the Covenant. Like, looks pretty good. Like, the suits. I'm not sure how practical these are on set, but gotta say the Spartans do look really good. Really intimidating. Really powerful. And their weapons, instantly work, even though, like, you can see the shields are reflecting, but it is causing damage and killing these guys pretty swiftly. So, yeah, the suits look great. So, yeah, that's what a lot of this is. I think this is one of the women, picks up the rifle from the Covenant and blasts it straight away, and then throws it straight on the ground. I'd have been like, right, I'm keeping this. This does a lot more damage, a lot quicker than ours do, and they can use them. It's not like it's registered to the aliens. She's still running around, trying to find something, trying to hide, don't know. Getting tracked down constantly. That big dude gets taken out of a rifle. She's hiding again. Sees a friend, the old dude, dead. Yeah. Explosions, lots of explosions. Like, it's quite a good, impactful start to say. We're only 15 minutes in. There's a lot of action going on. Chief picks up big gun, mows these guys down easily. So it shows that Earth bullets do kill these. So the guy, well, it's too late for them. They're pretty much all dead. Apart from this dude at the moment. She calls for a dad. And then, come on. Who, because she calls for a dad, this guy notices her and starts going towards her, but her dad's like, no, that's my daughter. You're not going to take her out. And then he gets killed. So that girl has done everything she can to get everyone killed. It's mostly her fault that a lot of these people died. Mostly her fault for the fact that she ran into the woods, alerted them where they are, and ran back and literally showed them where they are. Like, not great, love. Not great. Chief kills the rest of them. She's, human, female, juvenile. That's the key to this. She is a child. She is a child. She's a know-it-all child and a bit of a gobshite. So then these guys go on their mission to be like, right, why were the Covenant here? And then go to find where they were. She starts to follow because there's no reason for her to be here anymore. Everything's gone, everything's dead. So she's following Chief and the guys who get to the cave, find out that it wasn't like a crash landing or something. They're there for a reason. I do like the HUD. I do like these elements. It does feel video gamey. And then we come across this artifact, and there is still one Covenant in there who was probably protecting this while the others went off to go do what they need to do. Chief touches this artifact, which then triggers it, opens it up. Don't know if this works for everyone. It's not explained in the episode. So I don't know if anyone that touches it gets this reaction. But the Covenant dude sort of just taken aback because he was about to shoot them and then saw this happening, so he kind of just stood back and watched for a moment while all this is happening. And then Chief has a bit of a flashback. You don't see it quite here. Sees a little bit of a flashback to, like, maybe his childhood, maybe not. Who knows? Probably. So it's just him having a picnic with some family, sees a dog, and then his partner's like, Chief, what's going on? And then gets alerted to this guy, who then runs away, bumps into the girl at the door. Well, he puts his camo on and goes invisible, knocks her out, gets in his ship and runs off. At this point, Chief's just like tells the rest of the guys to get back on their ship and do something, go away. He's going to go do something else. And straight away, these guys just like, are you sure, Chief? Like, that's not protocol. You doing your own thing, securing this one thing and, being with this, taking this girl, not hostage, but sort of, taking care of her or whatever. And Chief's just like, no, it's fine. He's already, because of what touching that artifact, it's triggered something within him. And now he's kind of going against protocol, kind of going against orders and telling his team to just like, do as he says and just go along with it. They're like, fine, Chief, we trust you because you're Master Chief. And they go away. And we're just left wondering what's going to happen next. And now we get our first look on the Reach. Looked great, like visually. We get to the Doctor here, who's playing back some footage that's I think the Spartans are constantly recording body cam stuff. So as you can see here, Chief's vitals and everything. And she sees him touch this thing. And just before anything starts to happen, this woman comes in, alerts her. She stops watching the screen, puts it to one side. She comes in. Oh, what's that? What's going on here? Oh, no, I'm just watching. So this woman's really high up in the military, so everyone's kind of a bit wary of her. The Doctor seems to be, just from this slight interaction, maybe trying to do her own thing. Maybe doesn't trust her. So we get a little bit of a back and forth here. She's just showing. We get a lot of blueprints about the Spartans because there's only a few of them at the moment, it seems. So they're just talking about the assets of the Spartans and how vital they are, and is everything going all right with them? Because they had a lot of experiments. Is everything working fine? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. This woman just talks down to everybody. Everybody. See you later. So she goes away. Obviously, not totally trusting each other just from the looks. And then she goes in here into a secret room off to the side where there's what looks like a clone of her in this tube, in this tub. Who knows what's going on? And then we get our first look of the Covenant planet, which looks very organic, totally different to what we just saw on Earth. Looks really cool. We get the Covenant, probably one of the preacher guys or someone high up floating in with some bodyguards. And we get this person here talking, just like, did you get the artifact from the place where you said it was going to be? No, we didn't. We ran into some trouble. What's going on? Then we find out it's a 12-year-old Earth girl who somehow ended up here and is somehow really high up in the Covenant. Some sort of, I don't know if she's some sort of preacher or something religious type, but she seems to have a lot of knowledge about everything, obviously. And she wants to talk to the person that came back, the person that escaped from the planet. The CGI in this guy looked great. Thought it looked really good. Got little dangly little scrotum things here going on. It looks cool. And she's been reading this book, Down Angels, which he's like, oh, you know, you're learning Earth things as well. I hope you can tell me about them. Which this might lead me to believe that she maybe wasn't part of the Covenant all along. Maybe someone stole her. Maybe her parents sold her. But it seems like she might turn on them at some point because she's an Earth woman. She might be learning things and turn on them. And no woman is truly evil anymore. So, you know, you can just see here while she's talking, she's like, yeah. And then looking off to the side and looking a bit shifty because she's not a great actress. And I think this guy knows it as well. Knows. Probably maybe not trust her totally. Then we're on board with Chief. This girl's now being taken aboard, probably because there's no reason for her to be on her own planet, and she was knocked out. So they're taking her to Reach. She's trying to figure out where she is. And while she's up here in this room, recuperating, and Chief's down here, literally just staring at this open box with the artifact inside it. He's lost. He's gone. Like, whatever happened to him when he touched it and triggered that memory, it's completely broken him. He's completely different to what he was within the first 15 minutes of him being on screen. He's completely different. Like, he's, you know, just seems really different. And then we get one of the girls from the UNSC comes in as a hologram to talk to her just about, like, what she was doing, what about her family. So we've got, like, another know-it-all 13-year-old. Look at her. She's supposed to be a military person. She's like 23 at best. So she's talking to her and she's like, yeah, but what about all you guys? You're just propaganda. You just do this. You just do whatever you want. No one trusts you. And she's like, well, you know, if you want people to trust us, tell us, do a video for us, tell us your story, tell us, you know, tell the world what happened, the fact that the Covenant came down, attacked you out of nowhere, killed everyone, and then us, the Spartans, came and saved you. And this girl's just like, what happens if I don't tell you that? What happens if I say that the Spartans came and killed everyone? I don't know why. She literally just witnessed her entire town get taken out by these aliens, and the only people that helped her were the Spartans, but she's got a massive chip on her shoulder. You could see that from the beginning, even before everyone got killed. She's got a massive chip on her shoulder. So these two are trying to talk to each other and figure things out. She's not doing a very good convincing her of anything, because why would you? Why would you? If you just watched everyone murder and you get some 12-year-old in plain dress-up military being like, do this for me. For what? Amnesty? For some protection? Something? She's not having none of it. So she talks down to her straight away, because that's what she does. That's what she does best. Talks down to people. Does what she wants. So here she's like, how about I don't do as you say? I'm not going to do a video for you. And if I was, I'd lie and just tell you, you know, tell the world that it was the Spartans that came and did this. Don't know. I don't know why she would do this. She literally just watched everyone die, and she could have been left there. Chief didn't leave her. So she's, look, just two kids talking down to each other, Not worth watching. Skim, skim, skim. At this point, this woman's been watching the interaction as well and's like, okay, well, that's probably not going to plan. What we're going to do with her? Chief's still just lost, still in his own mind somewhere. God knows what's going on with Chief at this point. This doctor goes back to watch what's been happening with Chief, and at this point we've got like a full body scan of him as we're going through and watching what's happening with his memories. And she notices that when it gets to the point where he touches the artifact, you can see, you can see all of Chief, but you can see that there's something happening within his body. It's lighting up all his nervous system, triggering, his brain. All his bodily functions are going up and going through the roof, all the chart readings and everything. And this guy's like, what's going on? What on earth on that guy? What on earth? She's like, I don't know. Don't know what's happening with him. What could it mean? So she calls up Chief through his headset, because they're always in command. That's one of the reasons why he's always got this on. It's always reading his signs and sending stuff back. So that's the reason why all the Spartans wear their helmets. So they're asking Chief, like, is everything all right? Your vitals fine? How are you feeling after everything? What happened when you touched it? And he actually does tell him. He just goes, I saw something. She's like, what did you see? And he says, well, it felt like memories. It felt like a family. And these guys are just like, oh shit. He shouldn't remember any of this stuff. Like, what was it? And he's like, it feels like a family. I saw a child, or I saw a mother and a dog. And they're just like, oh no. Not a good thing. She tries to reassure him that it's probably just something that happened. It might not be real. Don't worry about it. But, just for now, probably don't touch that thing again. Leave it for now until we can do some tests on it. And this guy's just like, I don't like where this is going. And she's like, just keep it to yourself. Don't worry. Don't say out. Obviously, he looks a bit shifty. And then Chief's just there, literally just staring at this thing. Then we get a cut. He's talking to her about what's been going on, and she's just asked for some food. After he's just done a little bit of, basically, I think just checking in on himself or sending or doing something with this thing. She wants some food, asks him why you're helping me. I was taking you back to Reach, we'll figure it out when we get back to Reach. And then we're back here. It's our first introduction to this dude. We find out is the father of this child here, and she's just like, that didn't really go to plan. I was told to just talk to the girl and try and convince her to do something. I think she's some form of scientist. And we're looking at this here because we did see as he was coming in this room a lot of like dead aliens, sort of. Where were it? On here. So whether they're harvesting or trying to figure things out, we don't know, but there's loads of different species of aliens in the background. She's just like, yeah, that didn't really go to plan. Why do you think Mum's angry at me? So the big chief woman is her mother. This guy's like, it's just how she always is. So whether they're still a couple or not, so that explains why this girl's so high up in the military straight away. Both her parents are, because she's obviously not very qualified to be doing the interrogation or trying to talk to people, because she just looks like this. She just has this terrified, childlike face on her all the time. Just always slightly worried, just always slightly taken aback. She doesn't come off as stern. This guy does, straight away. Or if anyone else spoke to the little vegan girl asking her to do a video, I'm sure one of these guys could have easily persuaded her and talked her into it better than, Doey's here. So they just talk about a few things, why her mum's always down on her and stuff, and he's just like, it's just what your mum's like. And then basically we find out that the plan going forward is, we're just going to kill that girl. She's not going to do what we said, so we're just going to dispose of her and sweep everything on that planet under the rugs. And she's like, wait, how can you do that? You can't just do that. It's just human life. And he's just like, it's war. We're at war with the Covenant, so we can't let things get out there that might kind of have a bad reputation for us. There's already enough propaganda going around that the UNSC do X, Y, Z, and the Spartans do this. So the less out there that might potentially get bad at us, the better. So she's not too happy with that. By this time, these two are just chatting. She's having some food. She's like, do you even eat? What are you? And he's like, yeah, I just eat nuts and bolts and microchips. So he does have a personality in there. And then she tells him a story of the fact that I've met you before. And he's like, have you? And it turns out that when she was younger, her mum was doing a talk somewhere. And Master Chief and his team came in and basically just wiped a load of people out. And Chief was like, oh, I remember that. That was, we was told that there was a bomb threat or there was some kind of insurgent thing going on. So we just came in there. And it turns out that maybe it's another one of the UNSC things of being like, let's just get in there, get rid of these people and just maybe not let them cause a disturbance. So there is a shift within like who are the true good guys and who are the bad guys, which kind of why her and her people kind of maybe not have too much trust within the Spartans, but at the end of the day, they're just doing the job. At this point, Chief gets a call, basically saying, put her down. Article 72, terminate her. So that's what we've just found out from Reach. Chief's just found that out, and he's just sort of like asks her name. She confirms what her name is, and then he's just sort of like, he gets up and walks away. He already knows he's not going to do that. And she's just like, oh, all right, fine. Gets back to eating. Chief, at this point, goes over to this console unit here, and basically starts shutting down all the cameras. Back on Reach, they're watching what's going on as Chief's coming back. His plane's on basically autopilot, bringing him back to Reach at this point. His team's already back there. They left in one, I guess they came down in 2 ships. So they're already back and they're watching what's going on here. And Chief's going around and turning off all the cameras. And it's like, okay, what's going on here? This isn't like Master Chief. He's, the leader of the Spartans. He usually just does as he's told. Doesn't, do anything different. What's happened with him? What's changed? The Doctor's been a little coy, not really telling the truth of like something happened with him on the planet. So they're just having a lot of back and forth. Stern lady here, she's just that face is literally her character. Back and forth. Chief just do what he wants. At this point, she's kind of figuring out what's going on because the oxygen starts going within the shuttle. Chief knows this as well. So basically, they both pass out here, and then the ship's on autopilot. Oxygen levels at nothing. I don't know what that is. But because Chief's an absolute badass, he manages to still have some kind of consciousness, gets to a panel, and then puts the oxygen back up, and everyone aboard's just like, he shouldn't be doing any of this. He knows where everything is. We need to shut down everything. They're not. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a few people within the military who are kind of questioning, but not too much, probably because they know what might happen to them if they do. So she's like, right, if Chief's coming in with that package and he's compromised, time to send in his unit. So they're calling all the military guys, waiting for Chief to come in. The weapons start to come in. Call the Silver team, so Chief's team all get put together. And then the scientist lady comes. Come on, skip forward with me. And she's basically like, Chief, you've worked with Chief. Whatever happens, make sure he's fine. No matter what happens. And these guys are like, all right, don't worry about it. We trust Chief. So whatever happens, we've got his back. So already, it seems the scientists and people are kind of using the military to help, create the Spartans and do all that, but they're not really there for the political aspect of what the army and UNSC are doing. So there's the distrust there. We saw with the scientists at the beginning, as soon as that engineer operational high woman in the military came, she was hiding things straight away. So it's obviously they've just been using them for their money and assets and stuff like that. So we get a nice badass shot of all the Spartans walking down past all just the regular humans here. as Chief's plane is making its way back in. They're both revived right now, but she's a bit wary. She doesn't trust Master Chief. She's like, what's going on? Chief's just like, look, they closed down. They took control of the plane. They took down the oxygen, which made us pass out. Don't worry, I'm not here to harm you. And she's like, why? And he's like, look, I want to find out what's going on too. After I touched that thing, something happened. I want to figure it out. I don't trust them. And then he takes off his helmet. 50 minutes into the first episode, and he took his helmet off. This happened like 4 or 5 episodes into The Mandalorian. Like, at least didn't take his helmet off just to like show someone that he's human and can be trusted. But, you know, I will say the practical effects on the suit look brilliant. And then he takes his helmet off. Like, you can trust me. Look, I'm just a normal human. I'm not an alien. I'm not a robot. I'm not nothing. Signal lost because he's taken his helmet off. They're just like, what now? He's done what? They're programmed to not do this. They're told not to do this. And then she puts a weapon down because she trusts him. You know, why wouldn't you right now? He's not done anything really to distrust her. He brought her off the planet on a plane. He didn't harm her, didn't do anything. He's fed her. So she trusts him. It's night now. Ship comes in. Basically crash lands. He doesn't have any control over anything. So it's like, right, we're going to wait. You know, the artifact's fallen out because they had a bit of a rough landing. They get surrounded. The Spartans are looking around all the time, and the regular army guys are looking at the Spartans. So there's a bit of a distrust already. Like maybe you know they're in on it as well. So they surround the ship. John's looking at this thing again because he's remembered it's there, and he's just staring at it. So they all come in, start putting stuff around the ship. Spartans are waiting, and then he touches the thing again, which this time it activates a lot quicker than the first time. Shows him more memories, and at this point we see that, I'm presuming it's him as a child was drawing this artifact. So this does play a big part. And then it sends out a pulse wave throughout the entire of Reach, which everything turns off apart from the ship. It sends out a pulse wave that reactivates the ship, but at the same time, basically as an EMP throughout all of Reach. So they're able to get away because all the military things are down, all the cameras are down, all the big guns outside are down. Then Chief goes away as the power on Reach starts to come back. And there we are. That is the first episode. It doesn't feel like Halo. There was a summer a few years ago when I had a 360 and I literally played all the Halo games back to back. I think it was all 4 Halo games, and I got suckered into it. Love the story, love the multiplayer, but this doesn't feel like Halo to me. This just feels like just another story, another sci-fi story that just happens to have a suit that looks like Master Chief. Like, the guy playing Master Chief, he's a big dude, but not once do I remember in the video games ever seeing Chief take his helmet off to calm someone down, or to show someone some humanity by taking it off and being like, look, I'm just a human just like you. I never saw any of that. So I'm a little kind of taken aback and disappointed with this because I don't know where it's going to go. We've already seen some articles come out where the people who've been writing and doing the show have been like, yeah, we never played the games. Yeah, we never read the books. Yeah, we never read the comics or looked at the lore. We've kind of taken it upon ourselves to create and write our own story. And they were basically given the blueprints of like what the characters are, and they've just gone on and done their own thing, which doesn't bode too well because there's not many good sci-fi shows out there these days that do not implement too much of modern day politics, themes, and things like that in it. So my trust is very, very slim when it comes to modern day Hollywood of what's going on. So I'm probably going to give the show a skip until it's finished, and maybe by the end, if the reviews for the show and people out there that I usually go to read articles or watch on YouTube, if they by the end of it are like, actually it's not that bad, it might have started out a bit rocky, but by the end it kind of worked itself around and it's not too bad by the end, I might come back to it. But as a starting out point, I'm not invested because it doesn't feel like Halo. For the fact that he's already taken his helmet off. We knew he would, it's Hollywood, he was going to take his helmet off and show his face. But for the fact that it happened 50 minutes into the first episode makes me think that it's going to be coming off and on constantly. And I don't like where it's going, because it's just going to be Chief and Vegan Girl flying around space with this artifact trying to find things, while probably his team are going to be hunting him down for the UNSC, and then the aliens are going to be hunting him down as well. There's going to be a big diverse in the middle where there's going to be some battles. Probably the human on the Covenant planet will probably twist and turn, and probably turns out she's been working for the army all along, or someone. So there'll be a lot of twists and turns, but I don't think I'm going to carry on with the show as of right now. I don't think it's going to be one of those things that, like, when a new episode comes out weekly, it'll be like, all right, cool, Halo's here, let's watch it. Which is a shame, because this could have been something really good, but because of the people involved in the back end of the writing have already come out in articles and shown that they don't really care about the lore and the legacy and the fan base that's already there. They just want to do their own thing. Don't like that, don't trust that. So thanks for watching. If any of you guys have watched this episode, how do you feel? If you're a big Halo fan coming into it, does this feel like Halo to you? Or does it feel like a watered down sci-fi show that just happens to inhabit the husk of Master Chief and the world that you knew from the games? That's how I feel. Maybe I might change my mind towards the end. Who knows? We'll see. I might come back to it at a later point and do a catch up at the end of the season if it changes at all. But as of right now, it's going to be a pass from me. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, do all that algorithm stuff. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye.